Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This video I want to talk about how you can use your planner to track things in your life. Now, when we talk about tracking things, we often think about habits. Habit tracking has become something that is massive in the planning community. There are so many ways that you can track your habits, and there are so many habits that you can track. So I just want to take some time to firstly discuss what type of things you should be and can be tracking in your planner. And then we'll move on to how you can actually do this. Some of this you may have already seen or heard before, but it's a great way just to compile everything together into one video rather than just, cutting it and pasting things, in case other people haven't seen it. So, firstly, what in our lives should we be tracking? It's a very, very good question. The first one I would definitely say is water. This should not come to a surprise for anyone, and it's not just water as well that you should be tracking, it's just drinks in general. Perhaps things like fruit juice. Fruit juice is a good way to have one of your 5 a day, but too much of it can actually hurt your system in the process because it's all natural sugars. So you can track how many glasses of fruit juice a day that you drink. Perhaps it could be something about caffeine. If you're one of those people who perhaps drinks way too much coffee or caffeine drinks, tracking how much caffeine you're having in a day and how many cups of something you're having would be another great way to track your drink. Now, for all those who don't know, you're supposed to be taking about 8 glasses, which, it measures up to about 2 litres of water a day. Now, to my knowledge, this can be flavoured teas as well. When I say flavoured teas, I mean like herbal tea bags. So if you were to have a peppermint tea, this would also count as water because it's literally just water and peppermint. So as long as you're having something other than that variety, you need to be having about 8 cups of water a day. On top of that, you can then drink things like Coca-Cola or Pepsi, my favourite Dr. Pepper, things like coffee. If you have coffee, don't forget to have another drink of water because coffee actually dehydrates you rather than rehydrating you. So this is why tracking how much and what you have to drink is really good. Secondly, things to track. How you feel. In this day and age, things like mental health has become massive. Not to say that it never existed before. I think it's just that we have a lot more awareness about how people are feeling, why they feel certain things. Of course, there are now certain disorders which have a reason, such as a chemical imbalance or hormonal imbalance. Sometimes even neuro imbalances when actual nerves in our system aren't functioning properly. Now, I'm not going to get too much into that because I am not a doctor, so I cannot tell you why people feel the way they do, but tracking the way that you feel is a good way to help yourself. And this goes for everyone, whether you have mental health issues or not. There are patterns. For us girlies, we have that thing that comes around every month. Unless you're lucky to be before that or after, but most of us, we're suffering here, okay? Suffering. And of course there are patterns that we can track. Perhaps we feel down on a certain day. Oh wait, it's because it's coming in about 4 days. That would explain why. Or perhaps we feel elated one day, and perhaps it's because, I don't know, it's just, there are certain things around the world that can change and influence how we feel. And of course, getting sunlight or daytime can influence that as well. People are often happier in the summer than they are at winter, and that is I think it's sad, seasonal Actually, I've absolutely no idea what it means. It's called SAD, and basically it's how the seasons and the weather affects our mood. So tracking how you feel is a good way to notice patterns, and if we can notice patterns, we can help ourselves get out of them. Unless it's a positive one, then keep it. But, so yes, tracking emotions is another good habit to track. Perhaps you have other things such as medication or vitamins. Please be tracking them. I'm saying this to myself. Please take your medication. And if you're bad at remembering like I am, then track them because they're vital to keeping you alive. So yes, definitely be taking those. Other things you can track include time that you get up, how many times that you tidy up during the week, how many fruits and veggies are you getting a day, steps, or how many kilometres. I know some people prefer to track kilometres or miles rather than number of steps. How many times you work out. There are a whole bunch of things and a whole bunch of reasons as to why someone would want to track a certain thing that they're doing. Now, of course, there are so many more. Social media. For all those other small business owners, please track your social media. Consistency is key, guys, so be tracking that. But yes, there are so many reasons why people track habits, and I really would recommend it. It also gives you a sense of pride and achievement. It's another thing of being able to tick it off. You've done it that day. You can feel proud of yourself for doing it. Now, we have focused on things that you can track. Now we can look at how you can track your habits in different planners. So the first one is pretty simple. Using a habit tracker sticker. I know, it's a little bit cheaty, but it works, so we'll go for it. And you're supporting your small business owners, so it's all good. But habit tracker stickers are very easy. They usually give you a little space at the top to write your habits. Then they'll give you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you can just tick them off as you do it every day. This is really good as long as you look at your planner every day. A lot of people fall into this gap, and a lot of people say, well, I try to track my habits, but I don't do it. And usually the reason why is because they're not even looking at their habit tracker to see that they needed to do it. So definitely be trying to use your planner every day. Another habit you can track. But if you are an avid planner user, then yes, have a section on your weekly planner which allows you to remind yourself to track that habit. And you can have as many of these as you want. Many people do it on their sidebars. The second thing you can do, if you don't want to use your sidebar for habit trackers, if you use things like checklists on your day, just rewrite it out every single day. Do this, do this, do this. Can be a bit repetitive, and if you're not a fan of writing, it might not be the most fun way of doing it, but it works just as well. Gives you that reminder, do this, you can go and do it, and you can go tick it off a checklist. You can also do daily habit tracking. If you have daily inserts, you can either make your own. Some daily inserts that you can buy off the internet, including mine, allows you to have a note section which you can pop in the habit that you want to track that day, perhaps habits, and again you just cross them off once you've done them. Monthly planners, it's a bit harder. In things like the Happy Planner and the Erin Condren, I would suggest that the sidebar is not big enough to track habits. And if you are someone who's tracking multiple habits, definitely not enough room. And this is where other planners can come in handy. So you have things like the bullet journal. I have seen some amazing bullet journal habit trackers out there. You can do it as a little graph or a table. Put your habits down one side, put the days 1 to 31, or 30 or 28 if you're feeling fancy, down the side here, and then just do a line graph or colour it in every time you've done it. That's a really, really good and creative and fun way. It's a great way to use colour coding actually, so you can track your habits that way. The other way you can do it is by doing little tables. Again, if you don't like using pens and pencils, might not be the fun way, because you have to write 1 to 31 for every single habit that you're tracking. But if you have the patience, firstly, I applaud you for that. But secondly, that is also a really fun way, because you can customise it, you can colour it in exactly how you want to, and you can have little tables. And many people try and fit 6 on the page, but again, it depends how small your handwriting is, I guess. So yeah, that's also a really, really good way to track your habits. Another thing I've seen is a wheel. Now, if you have seen the circular level 10 life, it's almost like that, but instead you do circles for every single habit. You then divide it up to the amount of days in the month, and again, colour it in. Colour code it how you wish. The last thing I want to mention about tracking your habits is also doing it digitally. If you are someone who is a bit prone to not looking at your planner every day, having something on your phone, such as an app which will remind you, perhaps it will buzz or it will send you a notification, you can actually, if you type in into Google Play or iOS Apple Store, type in habit tracker, there are loads. And I mean, there are genuinely thousands of apps which allow you just to type in your habits, and they will somehow remind you every day to do those habits. Some of them are really, really cool, and you can set specific times to, or perhaps they'll recur every 3 days. So it doesn't really matter what habit you have, you can find a way to track them. So that is how you can track your habits using either your physical planner or your digital planner, such as your phone. And I think that is it. We have officially finished how to use your planner to track your habits. If you have any habits you want to leave down below that you think people should be tracking, leave them in the comments. Or if you have another way that people track their habits in their planners, again, leave them down below. But until next time, bye guys.